mortgage is far beyond our expectation.
It's the safest way of owning a house.
My mouth is full of appreciation to Federal Mortgage Bank.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on the program. Everyone deserves a home. The Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme is a product of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, initiated by the Ministry of Works and Housing, which supervises the FMBN as another way of bridging the housing gap in the country. Thanks to the scheme, many NHF contributors are today homeowners. Jos, Plateau State, houses one of the projects under the Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme, where 150 housing units are being developed for NHF contributors in the state. Details of this project is our focus on the episode tonight. Also coming up in the program is the story of an NHF contributor who has benefited from the Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme in another state. Our other segments of news and frequently asked questions will complete this package. Please join me after this short break to commence the program fully.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, cheer,
Huh? What is it again?
Oga, and they drive this car, my mind is not there. My landlord is on my neck.
Your landlord again. I thought I have told you this before. Get a mortgage, register with NHF scheme, and get a home up front. What is so difficult about this?
Oga, I will do just that. See, I will shame that my landlord. Mortgage.
At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, everyone deserves a home.
We will open the episode with highlights of major events that happened recently at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. In the lineup, University of Maiduguri alumni pays courtesy visit to the FMBN. Details of this and other stories in our news diary. Stay with us.
The University of Maiduguri Alumni Association (FCT) chapter has paid a courtesy visit to the Managing Director of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to congratulate the Managing Director, also an alumnus of the university, on his appointment as the Managing Director of the bank. President of the FCT chapter of the association congratulated him on his appointment and pledged the support of the association in helping him achieve success in his tenure as Managing Director of the bank. He called on the FMBN to support the association in delivering houses for members of the association.
If there's any partnership or anything that we can also do in terms of housing for our members and all that, we will also be very glad to deliver that to our members. I'm sure that will be the greatest benefit, that we will have one of ours leading such a very important organization. Yes, sir. So we're here to commemorate with you and to wish you all the best.
The president also called on the FMBN to support the association in its developmental programs for the university.
We even had the annual General Congress meeting that we had in March, where we had a lot of participation. And at that event, we decided to see what we can do to the university. And the project we identified was try to see if we can install solar systems, yes, to the university. The university itself is actually crying, so we just felt that that particular area is somewhere that we can actually make an impact. In fact, there was a time we saw videos and pictures of students reading under streetlights, and we felt that that is not befitting.
Managing Director of the bank, Maduhamman, while speaking, thanked the association for the visit. He restated the bank's readiness to provide housing for any individual or group who are contributors to the National Housing Fund scheme. The Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Maduhamman, has commended the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, for playing a pivotal role in promoting the cause of the National Housing Fund scheme by partnering with the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Amman, who was represented by the Zonal Manager, Lagos, Malam Ibrahim Napada, was speaking at the second edition of NECA's Annual Employers Award, which held recently in Lagos. The Managing Director also commended the association for the award exercise, describing it as a worthy exercise of rewarding the excellence of outstanding employers. He added that the award is leading the way for other employers to imbibe the culture of rewarding commitment, hard work, and dedication of employees. This, he says, culminates into delivering excellence. He said the role of the association cannot be underestimated in a productive economy. He therefore called on the association to put in more efforts to ensure the productivity of employees.
Glad to have you back. Coming up next is Project in Focus, and in this episode, we'll be looking at another project funded by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria under the Ministerial Pilot Housing Fund Scheme in Jos, the Plateau State capital. At the completion of the project, 150 families will become homeowners. How is this project going, and what is the bank doing to ensure that this project is delivered in good time? Let's find out in our next segment, Project in Focus.
The Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme is one of the products of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. This product is different from others because it is a product initiated by the Ministry of Works and Housing. It was designed to provide affordable housing for contributors of the National Housing Fund scheme. How it works is that the ministry makes land available for the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to provide funding to build houses at a cheap rate for low and medium income earning contributors. Since its inception, the product has recorded huge success and has since provided shelter to a large number of contributors.
The Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme is it's actually a scheme that was developed together with the parent ministry, our parent ministry, which is the Ministry of Works and Housing. So because in order to develop houses to reduce the deficit in housing in the country, the ministry now thought it right to partner with the bank and see to it that developers are getting access to funding from the bank. So they profile developers and recommend the developers to the bank for funding. So that is under that scheme. So that scheme had been quite successful, and we've done quite a number of them across the country. So these developers will now in turn, initially when the project started, the ministry have land in various states of the federation. So they donate those land on behalf of the developers to be able to develop on that.
This is Palvic Housing Estate located in Lamingo, Jos, Plateau State. This estate is being developed under the Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme. The project is for 150 housing units, 63 units comprising 33 units of 3-bedroom detached bungalows, 6 units of 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalows, and 24 units of 1-bedroom bungalows are currently at advanced stages of construction.
This is a ministerial pilot scheme, and the intention of it was to construct 150 units. However, what is on ground now, they have produced up to 63 units. The 63 units are made up of 3-bedroom. We have 33 units of 3-bedroom, fully detached. We have 6 units of 2-bedroom, semi-detached. And then we have 24 units of 1-bedroom, altogether making a total of 63 units.
2 tranches out of the 4 of the total sum for the construction have already been disbursed to bring the project to this level. When the disbursement is complete, all 150 units would have been completed with infrastructure of electricity, water, and a perimeter fence will be made available.
We have disbursed 2 tranches. So by the time we have finished disbursing 4 tranches, the 150 units will be completed. If you can see, on that line, they are here to construct that line, and then there are other spaces over there that are here to construct. But we believe that by the time they disburse the 4 tranches, the project will be completed. And then we will have that 150 units. If you can see, we have the light. You can see the poles. That they have laid the poles. Now they are connecting the lights. And you see the houses. By the time they finish, they will connect it. Or the road network will be there. And then there will be borehole that will be supplying water to the estates as well. And they will also connect to Plateau State Water Board. So by the time it is finished, all the social amenities will be connected so that the occupant will enjoy the social amenities of the estate.
The project is being supervised according to FMBN standards, both internally by the contractors and by the bank.
The FMBN have a team of supervisors. They normally come for supervisions to see that the quality is maintained, and then we also have to make sure that within the period that the money is disbursed, they're supposed to finish the DC within the limited time, so that we will make sure that they finish within the period and then allocate to the people who are intending to have the properties on ground.
The project, when completed, will be made available to off-takers via the rent-to-own window or NHF beneficiaries.
The intention of the bank is to use it for home rent-to-own. By the time it is finished, we will use it for rent-to-own. There are a lot of obstacles. There are people who have been coming, people who are working with the state government, the federal government, and who they have the intention of getting these houses. They have been coming. The essence of rent-to-own is for us to give them the forms. They will fill the forms, and then we will look at their outstanding periods. What we mean is that their residual period that they are left with to retire, assuming they have worked for maybe 20 years now, they are left with 10 years or 15 years to be 35 years in service. Then we will use the 35 years, we will use the 15 years in service. That's the 15 years that are remaining. Then we will look at the total cost of the construction. We will factor in the 7% interest rate and then divide equally by the remaining period in service. And then they are expected to pay for the remaining years in service.
What is the name of my grandson?
Suleiman.
That's a good name. May the Almighty preserve him.
Amen.
Now that your family is growing, this is the time for you to start thinking of a house of your own.
Abba, the thought of this has always been on my mind. To build a house now, you need a lot of money, and that is what is holding me back.
Sonny, what you need is a mortgage. NHF mortgage loan. With NHF mortgage loan, you own a house upfront and pay gradually over a long period of time.
Abba, I will go to the FMBN office right away.
Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
If you're just joining us, you're watching Everyone Deserves a Home, a program of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria as it makes houses and mortgages available for Nigerians. Talking about average Nigerians owning houses through mortgages, we will share the story of an NHF beneficiary who got a house under the Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme project in Kano. This is coming up in our next segment, Dream Come True.
I can assure all Nigerians that if you apply Once it is available, you will get.
Definitely the scheme is real.
It's a big testimony to stop paying rent.
Excellent. Seriously excellent.
It works and is real.
Joshua Echoda is an estate surveyor and valuer. As someone who works in the housing sector, he has always known about the National Housing Fund scheme and how it works. This alone gave him the motivation to apply for a housing loan as soon as the opportunity presented itself. He now owns a beautiful 3-bedroom detached bungalow at the Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme, Kano State.
Everybody knows that being a tenant, it's not a palatable experience. So everybody is actually looking forward to owning a house, either outright or through mortgage, be it rent to own or other available scheme. So we're going to find out from the developers, which are Al-Mukab Dynamics Limited, that there are houses here that is under construction and it's for mortgage, and the package available then is rent to own. I actually got a 3-bedroom at 8.8 million naira. Though the estate is located at an outskirts of Kano Metropolis, so the developers actually did what we call value addition to make the place safe and serene.
ESV Echoda tells us what he loves about the estate and some of the facilities he enjoys using in the estate.
Basically, the major facility is the perimeter fence. We know Nigeria as it is right now. You cannot do anything without security. So, and to God be the glory, we've been here for 2 years and we never had any issue of security breach because of the general perimeter fence, as well as the security personnel put in place for the facility. You can see my compound is very, very serene, as well as the general estate. We have gardeners, we have cleaners, and we have the people manning the water supply for the estate through the main source, as well as generator and solar to power the water. Then we'll have the general street lights, which is actually not part of the mortgage arrangement. This is the arrangement that the developer put in place to make sure that the estate is always lit as soon as the sun goes down.
He has lived in his house with his wife and kids for about 2 years. He's particularly glad that he does not have to be bothered about issues of rent and landlords.
The experience of being a homeowner is priceless. Knowing fully well that you don't have any landlord anywhere knocking at your door, that your rent has expired. Plus, there are modifications that you can do to your house, which is in tandem with what the developer has put in place, like the individual perimeter fence, as well as the landscaping, as you can see, the car park and the interlocking. So this gives you both extrinsic and intrinsic value. You have an inner joy anytime you drive into your compound, knowing fully well that this is yours. There is no notice coming from anybody anywhere.
Mr. Echoda got his house at the cost of 8.8 million naira only. The flexibility of the repayment makes the scheme even more beautiful for him.
The repayment process, it covers a ceiling of 30 years, and you have, if say for example you are 42 like I am, you have 18 years to pay off. So me not being a typical civil servant, we want to pay in the shortest time possible. You understand? Probably say 5-10 years max. as against maximizing the entire 18 years.
Yeah, we are coming. Okay, I'm coming.
Joshua Ichoda, who got his house through the rent-to-own scheme, describes the scheme as a wonderful package. He encourages NHF contributors yet to subscribe to the scheme to give it a trial.
My word to Nigerians is there are no magic. There are no need for connection. There are no need for Godfather. All you need to do is just to walk up to any mortgage office in your state, of which the entire 36 states in the Federation has an office. Go to the branch office, ask the basic questions, and if there are projects ongoing in the state or in the neighboring state, you could be guided and you become a happy owner like myself.
He loads the scheme because he says it has given him the opportunity to live among and rub minds with great people.
Our question for the week is, do I need to begin NHF contributions afresh if I change jobs?
Even when you change job, your previous contribution is intact. There is nothing that happens to it. It's in our records. What is required of you is to approach the nearest Federal Mortgage Bank branch in where you are domiciled or staying. Then there is a form that will give you where you will give information on where you are working, you understand, and where you left. Federal Mortgage Bank will use that data you provide so that it will be updated. Then your employer also will be rightly be informed. What is unique is that you have what we call the NHF participation number. That one does not change, it's maintained. So what we only do is to merge your records in the former place you are working with the present place of work. So nothing happens. Your financial records are intact as far as the bank is concerned.
And that's it on our package on this episode of the program. Remember that the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is ready to make houses and mortgages available for every contributor to the National Housing Fund, and that every Nigerian in the public or private sector can become a contributor to the fund. To find out how you can become a contributor, please visit any FMBN branch office in your state or visit the website on www.fmbn.gov.ng. You can also watch this and other episodes of the program on our social media handles currently showing on your screen. Join me again next week, same time, same station, for another edition of the program. Do have a pleasant night rest.